Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Milo,
Hey.
how we doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Good. How is how's your business going? Are you getting leads?
It's going well. There's some things I have ready. We've also got the lunch and learn coming. Um, I'm trying to get some time for myself to be able to do that. Licensing is one of the big focuses as well that I've been trying to get on as well. Uh, yeah, a lot of little different things everywhere.
Licensing for
Marketplace
okay. Right. Okay.
and
Um,
ACA.
right, right. Did you get those contracts done?
I've got one of them done so far.
Okay. Okay. Um, all right. How's have you guys gotten any lunch and learn
We've gotten
RSP?
like two or three, I think, so far.
Okay.
We got a couple.
Because I think you got like three online. Is that the only ones that you've gotten?
Um, if it was three online, I know I at least got
Did you get some texts or anything? Or
yeah, I at least he's at least gotten a text or two. So
okay,
if there were
so
three
maybe we're
online,
up to
then maybe we
five.
have five total, something like
Okay,
that.
all right, good deal. All right, so you've got that. You're doing that with your dad.
Yep.
Anything else in the works?
Um,
Dentists or
no, other stuff is just me fixing cars because I
okay,
have a lot of problems dealing with that. I
okay.
just took my battery to Batteries Plus to try to get it charged and stuff
Oh boy.
this morning. Yeah. Either that or I'm gonna have to get a new one.
Okay. Hi Tiffany,
Hi, Kai.
how we doing?
Okay. How are you?
Real good. Yeah, real good. Um, are you all set for your Singapore trip?
Yeah, we are looking forward to it.
Everyone's going to that area. Dang.
Yeah. What,
My
when are you
first
going again?
we're gonna go to Japan and then Singapore and then Korea.
Okay. So, I don't know if you guys have met John or Si Chang Oh. He's from Korea, and he
Yeah.
when he goes back to Korea, uh, I'm sure I don't think you're gonna be doing this, but it's interesting because in his culture, this is what they go home to Korea with him and his wife, and he hangs out with all his guy friends the whole time, and she hangs out with all her girlfriends the whole time. The only time they really see each other is when they do things with family.
Oh, interested.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's their personal culture or the culture of the country.
It sounds like it's kind of the Korean culture, I guess. I don't know.
Hmm.
But I did talk to another gal who was from Taiwan, and I asked her the same thing. And she pretty much just hangs out with family. So, and that's
Yeah,
probably what you're doing because you're going to different locations. You're not really, are you seeing?
no, we just go explore stuff. We not we don't have any family there, so
Yeah, right. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. All right. So maybe your dad joins us later, but I think we'll just get going today on this. Me.
I'll text him just in case.
No, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, that's
If you, I don't if I shouldn't.
no, that's okay. It's okay. Whatever. Okay. So, yeah, so AHIP and stuff is right around the corner.
Mhm.
Some companies have started their certifications.
Yeah, I got
Uh,
an email for some of them.
yeah. So I don't know if Tiffany should be eligible. I don't know if you are, Milo, or not, but the United Health, so Aetna released theirs. I think theirs comes out the 28th. United Healthcare released theirs for the 21st. You could do the AHIP at that point. And you want to do the AHIP if you're going to contract with different carriers. United Healthcare also has what's called fast track option. It's not available to everybody, so I don't know if Milo, if you're I can't remember what I want to say it's 10 apps, but I'm not sure. So you might not be eligible for this.
What's the total? Like, since I have like 12 total with UHC or something like that, so
Yeah, I think
10 a month or 10 what?
yeah, I want to say it's 10 during, I don't know. Let me see
I have
if I
somewhere in between 10 and 15. So
okay.
but yeah,
Well,
that's
you'll know
total
if you get the
since
email.
October.
So here, let me show you the email. So so you would get this email.
That might have been what let's see, because I was just saying I got an email from, let's see.
So if you get this email, then this means you're eligible for it. You can just go into your, or you can just go into your learning lab.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay, perfect. So you can go into your learning lab and on United Healthcare, right? You just go to sales or knowledge center and go down to learning lab, right? That takes you to here. And then you'll see this blue box that says you're eligible to take the certification fast track. And you can click on that.
Let me
And
see if that shows up for me.
I've already taken it. I've done mine. And it was pretty easy. There is about 30, what is there, 30 questions. You can miss 3. I think I did miss 2 on it. But for the most part, it's pretty, I did it without going through any of the
Hey,
modules.
I'm eligible. That's cool.
Yeah. So you can do this and you can get that stuff all taken care of. You still will need to do the AHIP, and you can come in here and I can show you kind of where. So you'd want to go to content library and learning paths. Let's see, we want 2024 certification. So you'd come down here and see it already has my stuff done because I did it already. Did my pledge of compliance. And then this stuff it hasn't been unlocked yet because we're waiting on the AHIP and stuff. And so then you can go through that stuff. So you can get that stuff done. That might be a good thing to do, and then take the AHIP course, and you get a $50 discount through here. Let's see it here. Let me go back and let's do.
And isn't like 125 or something for AHIP?
Yeah, so you get the $50 off with the
Yeah, so it'll be
$125. Is that what I was in before? Yeah, okay. So it must not be available yet because it doesn't come out till the 21st. That's probably why we don't see it, but you'll see it in there and you'll be able to do the AHIP. Or you can do the AHIP through Humana or Aetna or another carrier that you want. Aetna's doesn't come out till the 28th. I think I saw Humana's right around that time too. So I think the first earliest one is United Healthcare this year. And so you can and then go in and do the AHIP. Now, when you're recertifying for the AHIP, which we've all taken the AHIP last year, so now you only have to recertify. And the first 3 parts, remember, there's 5 different parts. the first 3 parts, you do not have to go through those. I think they're still doing it this way. Did they? Can't remember if they changed it last year or not. I kind of want to say they did, but you may not have to go through the first 3 parts, but you are tested on all 5 parts. So you can go through and do the product knowledge questions to each chapter, and then there'll be an exam, and that's usually 50 questions, and so you need to get like 45 right on those. And you have like 3 opportunities to take it to pass. So if you do that on your own, and you don't pass that first time, contact me. Let's do the next one together. So we have a buffer to do 2. I know Greg in his last meeting last week said that they are planning on doing some AHIP. Last year they came up and we met at that hotel down by 217 and I-5 there. Did you go to that, Tiff?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but I didn't stay back because I did mine before the meeting.
You already had done, right? And so, but we will do that. So if you need help doing that, doing your AHIP, you can attend one of those. And I don't know the dates yet or anything like that. And then do that. And then once you get the AHIP completed, you still have to do some certification through some of the other carriers. So Milo, that would be, like Pacific Source, Providence, whoever
Right.
you're with.
The normal stuff I did last year. Right.
Yep, right. And then by doing the certifications now, you're certified for all of next year. It's good to get it done as soon as you can.
Yeah.
It's just easier to no worries, and then if there's a carrier you want to add later on, you have everything else done. It's easily to go in there and add that.
Yeah, it's like getting your schoolwork done early.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, if you're gonna do events and during AEP, if you register those events, and you get certified, United Healthcare, Aetna, and Humana will advertise those for you. And you can get into some of the things that they do for that. So when they advertise events around the area, your event could be in there. I think last year I got a postcard.
How do they advertise it? Do they just put it in the mail and stuff?
Yeah, so like last year I got a postcard of like
That's cool.
all the United Healthcare events that were, and it didn't give any contact information. It just said, hey, there's an event over here at this time on this date.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to any of them, but I did notice that there was one at Elmer's. It wasn't mine, but there was one being held there.
Interesting.
So yeah. So it's a good.
How different is the fast track from the normal?
It's very different. So it's pretty. I can't go in it because I'm already completed it.
Right.
But if you were to go in there, I mean, it's pretty much it. It takes you right to. Let's see if I click on this, whether. So you go in here and then you can do the study guide. So if you want to study up first, you can open this up and then kind of go through it like you normally would on a course, right? You just kind of it's each slide and you just click through it. And then there's the instructions on how to do it. There's the pledge that you pledge to be compliant, and those don't take very much. And then you can just take the test. I just went straight. Did all this stuff and just took the test, see if I could pass it, just doing that. And I did. So I was done like in 15, 20 minutes. This was completed. So it doesn't take very long at all. If you need to study, you only do get, that's the other thing on this is that, let's see, does it say here?
2 attempts, right?
2 attempts. Yeah. You only get like 2 attempts, I think. And if you don't get that, it's okay. If you don't,
Yeah, there you go.
if
It's
you
at the
don't,
top.
yeah, there it is. You got it. 2 attempts. If you don't get that in 2 attempts, you still have 6 attempts to do their, you lose the
The
fast track,
standard.
and yeah, and you have to go through everything else. But so essentially, you'd have 8 chances. But yeah, so I don't know if it's difficult, but if you want to study before, you would study the
Better safe.
study guide. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, it looks like it's coming up. And then you just kind of go through it, kind of just study it like you normally would.
Yeah.
And then you could take the exam, and you'd have 2 chances to take the exam.
Yeah.
The nice thing too is if you do miss a question, they tell you what you missed and where to look. So if it was like event practices, you could come back in here, take a look at, oh, what was the answer to that question? And you
Yeah.
can kind of look it up. And then I believe, although I haven't taken it twice, I believe it's the same questions as the previous time. There might be a few different ones, but I believe they're the same. You do sometimes have to watch it. Sometimes they'll not necessarily try to trick you, but they will change the question around, kind of reverse it. So it'll like be the reverse answer. So you just have to kind of read things carefully
Yeah.
and whatnot.
So
Um,
have you gotten a view at the new plans yet for 2024? This early or
so some of that's coming out. The only thing that I've seen um is I saw Devoted sent an email, and I requested that information. Let me see. I don't.
but the essentially it's coming soon.
Yeah,
We're
it'll
about to
be
see them
out
soon.
pretty shortly. Yeah, that stuff's gonna be out pretty shortly. They're still the way it works, Milo, is
Mhm.
uh each carrier submits their stuff to CMS probably in March or April.
Wow.
CMS looks it over. They send it back saying you need to improve on this, or this doesn't work, right? And then
It's
they do that.
extremely early in the year.
Yeah, and then they do that pretty much all summer until about June, and July they'll probably tell you that, okay, here's our final submit to CMS. They're not approved yet, but there could still be some tweaks, but here's what we're proposing. And then
Okay.
so usually by that time we get a first look, and things could change by the time September rolls around, but by September you pretty much have a good idea of what the plan is going to look like, or if there's
Okay,
any
cool.
expansions or anything like that. Now, I do know that there's a new company coming in. They're not new necessarily. Uh, they're based out of Southern Oregon. Some of you guys might be familiar with them. They're called a trio or a trio. Um,
I
they
think I've
are
distantly heard of the name, but
yeah,
I've never seen it.
okay. So they started down in Southern Oregon. That's kind of where they're based out of. But they've had some, and they're in like Douglas County and a couple counties on the coast, I think. Um, and but
Who's Bay?
they got bought out, or they got bought out's not the right word. They got some investment from a Chicago firm, so they've got all this money, and they kind of expanded last year, so they expanded up into Salem, and then this year they're going to be expanding into Portland. I think they're going to have, from what I've heard, I think they're going to have OHSU Legacy in their network. They're not going to have Providence. But
Any possibility of Coos County?
there is possibility, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
The thing that they have is I think they're, and again, I'm getting this and from some of this information secondhand, so I don't know how accurate it is. But from what I heard, that they might have a dental benefit, maybe right $1,500, where it's just it's a flex card, basically. It's a Visa card that you can go as long as you can go anywhere to a dentist that accepts a Visa. You know, you have $1,500 and you can use it towards that. But I don't know the exact totals on that. But if you're interested in that, let me know. You can contract with Kellogg. There's a link on the contracting page. I have to contract too, so just let me know if you're interested in doing that. I haven't decided, but if one of you wants to do it, I'll for sure do it. But if nobody wants to do it, then I might hold off on doing it. But
If they create a plan in Coos Bay, I'll definitely do it, I think, because
okay,
the opportunities there.
right. And the plans in like Salem were really competitive, zero premium, pretty good benefits.
Maybe
and so I do,
Salem's worth looking into as well.
yeah. So if you want to do that, let me know and we'll get contracted.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah. Let me see.
Oh, Kyle, did you contract with Molina in Washington? Is that the more like K Oregon here in Oregon?
Yeah, exactly. So I am not contracted with Molina. I have we have the ability to do that. It is through a different FMO. I think it's maybe through Guided, who we do our Providence and Pacific Source.
Oh, okay.
But they
No,
only,
I
yeah,
just
they do. They're like Care Oregon. They pretty much do dual SNPs and maybe a chronic plan, maybe a, you know, just a regular Advantage plan that's, you know, inexpensive. You know, they don't do anything that's really kind of um that
yeah,
different.
I saw it, but
Are
I don't
you
know.
looking into doing it? Are you interested?
No,
Okay.
not really. I just saw it pop up and then so I just wonder.
Yeah, and then so Molina also has had some performance issues. I don't know where they stand right at the current time, but I know that they at one point were below 3 stars.
Oh,
So they've had some kind of some issues. I want to say that that was a couple years ago that they've improved it up to maybe 3 stars. Um, but I've heard that too. So I had a chance to contract with them a couple years ago. And I just didn't want to, you know, I don't write a lot of business up there in Washington. So I was just like, man, I think there's other plans that I could, if I needed, I could use other plans on it. So I didn't choose to contract, but if you like what you see and you want to, like, again, you want to do it, just let me know and I can get the contracts out to us and whatnot.
okay.
Tiffany, how many carriers are you with?
Uh, I with Provident, Kaiser, United Healthcare, Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Pacific Source,
Oh, okay.
Devote. Pretty much. I don't have
Are you with
Moda.
the, so you're with Devoted too? Okay.
Yeah, no Moda, no
Okay.
Cigna. Are you signed up for Cigna? Because I
Not
remember
Cigna,
last
but
time.
Moda. I am with Moda. They don't pay quite as much.
Do they
But
have good plan? Because a couple of people that they on employer group or they current with Moda, they're looking for Moda, or things like that. And so
yeah,
I don't know how good they are.
it's okay. It's a decent plan. Their network's not bad. They do have some providence in their network. So
Oh, okay.
and that can be helpful if you have a Providence doctor. But I think the lowest price plan is $39. That comes with drugs. They do have a zero, but it's MA only. Um, um, but it's a decent plan. I don't think it's comparably to some of the others. It's comparable, but I don't think it beats anybody, right? So it would probably come down to exactly what you said. They want to just stay with Moda because they're in Moda already, right? But you can do that. Um, And the contracting should be on the Kellogg website again. You just go in there and click MODA.
I don't want to contract too much carrier and they
Yeah.
have to keep track of their benefit and all that stuff.
Yeah, right, right,
Unless they
right,
have pretty good plan compared to other then and
right.
work to do it, but
Yeah, so that's the juggling thing that you got to, you can contract with more companies, but then you got to do the certs for everyone, and then you've got to remember what has what doesn't have, and so it can get a little overwhelming. And if you're only gonna sell like one or two of those plans, like have you sold a devoted?
no, I have not sell
Yeah,
any devoted.
right. So if you
Is that
don't end
only
up
legacy in their network, right?
Yeah, right. And so if you're only going to sell one or two, is it really kind of worth it, in the end? So, yeah, that's, personal preference too. So just run your business how you want to run it. But you might want to look and, consider that. Um, what what happens is when I contract, I'll end up selling them, but I won't usually sell them like in the Portland area. I'll sell them in areas where there's less competition. Maybe there's a Regents and an Atrio and a Pacific Source, and I'll sell a Pacific Source plan or something like that. So, um, but typically when they're in a highly competitive area, a lot of those plans, unless they doctors line up, or drugs line up, then that doesn't usually work for them. So, but Devoted is coming out with their thing. I think that's I want to say July 18th. If then they have, did you see that email, Tiffany?
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, you guys down in Eugene, they're not down there. It doesn't look like they're expanding this year. Um, they're still going to be in the Portland Metro and Columbia County area north. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Milo, those just kind of come out. You'll see more and more of those as we get closer and through the summer. Now,
Okay.
the other thing is the retail kiosks for AEP. Um, this was sent out to me by Cassie. She does the Clackamas and Multnomah. So I did forward this out to you guys. So I know she doesn't do Lane County, but you might want to, if you're interested, you might want to reach out to her and just say, hey, yeah, I'm interested. Let me see what the locations are, but I'm also interested in Lane County and stuff just to get that. So when they send those out, we can kind of take a look at them if they have them in those areas or not. I don't know if they will or not.
Are those like booths?
Yeah, so these would be like working at well, last year, Tiffany, we worked Safeway. No,
Yeah,
Safeway.
Safeway.
Yeah.
How did that go?
That location is not bad. I mean, there's not last year not many location open, so
Yeah,
I
they
have to put that. Yeah.
I remember about 7 years ago, I did the kiosk, remember, at Fred Meyer's in Springfield. And it worked really well for me. I got, I think, 30 clients, one AEP off of that specific booth.
Wow.
yeah.
But then the next year, they didn't let me return. And all of the clients that I had goes to that Fred Meyer's, and whoever was at that booth took some away from me the next year. They didn't let me return because my production wasn't big enough, and they let somebody in there with a bigger production. However, having said that, I think someone in your situation gets some very good experience on talking with people, and I think that you would pick up a few sales off it.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the first step is to just kind of, let them know that you're interested, and where, so for you, if it's Lane County, let them know. it's Tiffany, maybe it's Clackamas, or Multnomah or whatever. Just let them know where you're interested in working. And so you get a look at what's available for that. The retail,
You
I did
forward it?
not do it last year. And that was like the first time I didn't do it during AP in a long time. Um, but it can be a good, like Derek said, it can be a good lead generator. Sometimes like last year, Tiffany, didn't you share the booth with like 12 people or something?
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Yeah. So I don't know what it's going to look like this year. Last year they had limited venues, so so they had fewer to pick from, and so they kind of spread it out amongst all the agents. So it'll come down to like supply and demand a little bit, like how many locations do they have available, and then how many agents. So you could be sharing the location. Back when Derek was talking, he probably had that location by himself or shared it with just one person. So you can get a lot more leads that way. But you also have to put in the time. Retail is a different animal. There are going to be times when you don't see anybody for a length of period. And then there could be times where you see one right after another for like an hour or something. So it just kind of varies.
Right.
And you just have to, if nobody's ever done it before and they do it and it's slow, a lot of times you'll see agents, they'll be like, oh, this is horrible. There's no business here. I hate it, blah, blah, blah. You've got to get past that. You just have to know that there's going to be times where there's not going to be a lot going on. And you've got to be very personable. You've got to, be open to talking to people because you kind of try to get them to come over and talk to you and whatnot. So you've got to you can't just sit there, right? You can't just sit there and expect people to just come up to you. You've got to be, you've got to be proactive. But if that's something you want to do, I'll work
Right.
with you on that and just kind of show you kind of the tips and stuff. But I think it
It's
would be,
interesting.
yeah, I think it would be good to just at least explore it as an option, and then we can determine whether or not it's something you want to do, if it's a
Yeah,
good fit or whatnot.
sure.
So I sent those out. So just respond back to her and tell them what you're interested in. I responded back and said, hey, I'm interested, but I'm also interested in Washington County up here. So I don't know if I do anything in Multnomah or Lancaster. I might. Depends on where it was. I used to do a Fred Meyer in North Portland. Um, I've done Safeways, Walgreens. I've done Walmarts and stuff. So I've done a variety of them. They're all a little bit different.
I would also like to point out, it takes a certain skill to be able to bring those people from walking by thinking about groceries to getting excited about their plan.
It's not
So
for everybody. Yeah.
so I've seen people go and sit there, and nobody comes and talks to them, and you got to make,
they come up to me?
yeah, you gotta, I mean, it's a feel,
Yeah,
and the
I
only
get it.
way to get that skill is to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want, I will go with you and sit with you at a booth for a couple of days and show you how I do it. And if anything comes, you can have it. But I'm not going to man the booth. And when they want someone, they want a commitment from you 2 days a week, maybe 3 for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the other thing. That's a good point. There usually is some hourly requirement, but again, I think it's going to depend on the supply and demand because they might be like last year if there was a dozen people at Safeway, they managed to hit that hour requirement and stuff pretty easily because they had so many shifts, right? If you get into a place where there's only like one or two of you, they may want 20 hours covered, so you might end up having to work
Right.
3 or 4 days. um when I used to do it, my philosophy was I'm going to work there as much as I can and get as many leads as I can, because there is usually no cost to these. If you do the Walmart program through Plan Advisors and Humana, there is a cost, but usually through the carrier, there's no cost to this.
Yeah.
The
I
only
personally,
cost is your time.
personally, Milo, I think it's worth it for you to try it.
You don't
It's
have to sell me on it.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm sold on it.
yeah.
I'd do
I think
it
it's a good
if I get the
opportunity.
opportunity.
I don't know what's going to be available down there. You know, I
Yeah.
don't think they had anything last year. And this is just United Healthcare. There could be, other carriers that might have stuff. WellCare
Right.
might have something. Because I know they've done Coos Bay in the past. She's done that.
Isn't there usually something at Walmart? You pay $500 to be there, and
Yeah, that's the other thing. So
I've seen one at Walmart before.
yeah, so that's the other thing. And I talked to Greg this morning. I know Regina's been doing the Walmart in Sherwood for the last 4 or 5 years. She's gotten some decent business out of it. Uh and it did cost like I think $500. I think Greg he'll pay a portion of it. I could pay a portion of it, so we can make it if you wanted to do that.
I'll pay a portion too if you do it.
Yeah, however, they haven't come to an agreement. I talked to him, I talked to Greg this morning, and he said Humana and Walmart have not come to an agreement on it. So I don't know if it's gonna go through or not. In the past, they've they've been contracted, and we start claiming stores in April. And here it is now in
Well,
June,
Humana
and
definitely wouldn't be a Walmart thing in Eugene.
No, there has been. In fact,
Really.
the thing that I liked about it, I don't know if it's still this way, but you could show all of your products. You didn't have to
Yeah, that'd be cool.
United Health.
But I mean the thing is, I was saying that because there isn't Humana in Lane County. That's what I mean by that.
right.
Oh yeah.
Right, but then they might so usually in those cases, usually there's like 3 carriers. So there's usually like United Healthcare. If Humana's not there, then maybe they do Regents, and then the third carrier is usually like an Aetna or
Yeah.
um Aetna's not down there either, is there? But yeah, something like that. So they figure it out, or maybe they just do 2 carriers if that's all that's available. But yeah, and then you can show any of those carriers at
As
the
long as
booth.
there's something, you know.
Yeah, right, exactly. So keep that in mind. So some of this stuff is going on too. So look at your emails and stuff, and but start doing the training, get into that training right now, and get some of that stuff just taken care of. So if you get it done by the end of June or early July, you've got all your certs done, and you can concentrate on what you're gonna do for AEP moving forward. And whatnot. So
I
for
may have
you
missed
guys,
it. I may have missed it, but are we having a get together to do certs? We
so
talked about that.
so Greg, in his last meeting, he did say that they're gonna do what they did last year, which was, they got together. He hasn't named the dates or locations yet. I'm assuming he's coming to Portland like he did last year.
I definitely want to do it if he doesn't.
Okay, so yeah. So there's not anything set, but they are gonna do it. So when
Yeah, it
those
could be
come
interesting.
across, I'll make sure you guys hear that. And if not, then I'll do it and we'll help you out.
Did our court thing or did our coast thing die? Is that still something we were going to do? We talked about doing something at the coast and
Yeah, we're not gonna do anything at the coast, but
Not enough
later
people
this
interested,
month,
right?
in fact, in a couple weeks, I'll probably get something out this week. I think we're aiming for um maybe the 24th, maybe 25th. Did you guys say a Saturday or Sunday work best?
I'll do it whenever you schedule it. I'll
A
make,
Sunday would work best for me.
Sunday. So maybe we do it on the 25th. We're gonna do some mini golf up here in Tualatin. Um, and then get together with a they have a restaurant there. We'll eat, hang out, kind of talk more AP stuff, and then go. And then I'll plan on having the barbecue sometime in August. So I'm working on that stuff. Yeah. And Tualatin is south of Portland, so it's a little bit closer for you guys. So it's not as far to go. It might be easier.
How close is it to us?
Probably
Do you know at all?
about an
probably
hour
90.
and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
probably 90 minutes. Hour and a half.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah. Anybody have any questions? On anything?
No, I got it
No.
all answered.
Are you working on the AEP later?
Yeah, so the I'm sorry, you said AEP?
Yeah.
Are working
You're
on it. What do
talking
you
about
mean?
certifications?
No, the letter that you sent out for your member for retention.
Oh, yeah, I haven't done that. Oh, that's a good question. So, yeah, usually in
I know
what I
it's too early, but I'm just asking if you have one, can I get a copy?
oh, yeah, I can look. I'm sure those are gonna have to be updated though with like the
Yeah.
disclaimers and stuff.
Mhm.
But just for the other guys, what we usually do is as AEP approaches, for retention of your book of business, you want to send out a letter that says, basically says, let me see if I can pull one up. Might have one.
I have one I can pull up.
You share.
I have another question not related to this.
Okay,
For the business card, you cannot put Medicare. So now you have to
correct,
take it out from your business card.
correct. Yeah,
Okay, so I have to do the whole new set of business card because I cannot use the one I currently have.
yeah. So
Does it go
usually,
into effect already, or
what'd you say, Tiff?
does it go into effect already for that marketing thing, or
I
it's
do.
not until AEP?
I believe I believe the Medicare stuff is in effect. Yeah.
Okay, so I cannot send out my business card anymore because it have
Yeah.
Medicare in there.
Probably not. Yeah.
You've really made it a lot more professional.
Yeah, so this is kind of the a form letter you can use. So I would submit these to the printers along with an Excel, much like we do the lunch and learns, and then they populate the name and address and mail it out for me. But this is a typical letter that we've done in the past, which is it's basically Milo. It's basically just to kind of touch base with your clients and say, hey, I'm your agent. If you want to change plans, we can change. We can look at that. Let's review that.
Is this the annual notice of change or is this something else?
Yeah, it's very similar to that. Yeah, right. The annual notice of change is a separate letter that the
Okay.
carriers send out to all their current members. And you can kind of just go through here and like we did last year, we did those events. Remember those, what do we call those? Those member events, right?
Mhm.
And no, we didn't get, I don't think I mean, there was a few that were well attended, but most of them were not attended very well. So I don't think we'll be doing those. Well, what do you guys think? Do you think we should do those or
Last year when we did that, remember the location that we did?
yeah,
Not
we
many
did
people, there was
Oregon
like
City.
one or two.
Yeah. And we did the King City ones were pretty good. I think we got 12 at that one. And then what else did we do? We did, this one I think was a good
We
one.
did one in Beaverton. We did one on Oregon City.
Yeah.
You have like one.
Oh, and we also did one at the Ellis store. That's not on
Yeah.
here. So we must have, yeah, we did one at Ellis store, and I don't think we did Wayne County. It wasn't at Sweetwater. It was at the Hilliard event center or whatever. We didn't get anybody there. So I don't know. Do you guys want to do something like that again this year? What do you think?
No, I
Okay.
mean the location that we did together, I think it's like only one person or two show up.
Right. Right.
I have two of the ANOCs that I've used over the couple of years, if you want me to show them.
So what do you guys think about doing those events next year? That's what I'm kind of asking. Tiffany said no.
I'll do whatever you think.
If
help.
something happens, I'll join if it's not like crazy far.
I'm going to support you in whatever way
Yeah.
you think would help the best.
Well, I'm just asking for your feedback. I mean, did you, and because we didn't, like what?
Did I go to the one you're talking about last year?
Yeah, remember we held it at the Hilliard Senior Center there, and they had that kitchen. It was a really nice place. But
Oh,
we
you're
had
talking about the one we did in Eugene that no one showed up for.
right.
Yeah. I'm okay to try again. I think it's a nice
Oh,
place.
nice.
I don't think I did very good advertising for it, and
Yeah, the thing where I know what you're talking about now.
I mean, it doesn't.
I'd be open to join, but I'm just not sure how many
Right.
people will go.
Right. So
yeah,
so if we don't do this, Derek, why don't you show your letter and we can show you
Okay.
a different
let
what we've
me.
kind of done in the past. And um and it's usually just a letter saying, hey, I'm your agent, AEP's coming up. If you want to like change your plans, contact me, and whatnot. And it's just a way to kind of retain your business so that they're not going into a Walmart and changing plans or going TV ads or something like that. So you want to try to retain your business for AEP is try to touch base with them. And we usually put them out in September, a few weeks before AEP to let them know that, hey, I'm your agent, yeah, this is like one week.
Let's see. There's that one. Can you see them now?
Yeah. Yeah, not real well, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, now you cannot put dental and stuff on that letter.
Right. So you can't do dental, like this letter here would have to probably be approved by CMS. So if you're gonna do those, get them in now. Otherwise you'd have to make it more generic.
This
And
one was a 2-page one. I think this is what you did. And
yeah,
I took what
that
you
looks
did and tweaked it a bit. But it was 2 pages. So I think last year I did, hold on. Last year I did this one. This is what I did last year.
yeah.
I
So
condensed
you
it
wouldn't
all
be
in
able
one.
to do the dental stuff unless you got it approved. And then if these are different carriers, like, well, this is WellCare, so you'd have to get WellCare to approve it.
Okay.
And you can, but if you're gonna do it, you should get them in now because it can take months to get it approved through CMS. Otherwise, you'll have to just, pull that stuff out and not use any plan specifics or anything like that.
Okay. I'll try to tweak it and get it to how I want to do it this year, and then send it to whoever needs to approve it.
Yeah. Send it to Heidi first, and she'll probably let you know what carrier she could probably submit it for you or whatever.
This is earlier than I've ever started thinking about it, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah. So, and then this is just a hey, contact me if you're thinking about changing, and if your health needs have changed, if your drugs have changed, let's evaluate whether or not, obviously in most cases we aren't looking to change their plan, right? We really just want them to stay on their plan because that's easiest for them. It's easiest for us, right? Less work we have to do. We can then focus more on getting new business as opposed to, working your current book of business. But there could be times where, another plan is the best option for your client, and you do need to make a plan change for that. So, you do want to service them in the right way. But we don't really want to go out and just flip our business. That just takes more time. You don't make any more money from it. And it just, is going to take more time away from.
And it causes potential problems if things are working for them.
Yep. Right. But other things you want to look at for AEP would be, start networking with your dentists or your doctors, let them know, what you do and what you can help, because those could be good leads that you get during that time of year. So if Derek, I know you got a dentist that you work with, that could be a good time where you connect with them in September and say, hey, this is time changes. We know what the change, we know what the dental benefits for 2024 are going to be. If we want some people to get more of their work done, here's some plan options, right? So that would be a good way to get some new leads generated too, and moving forward. So
this is going to be a great AEP.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think so too. So just start thinking about it, and what you want to do and how you want to generate leads, and where you want to work, areas that you want to work in, and start, if you're talking with Julia at WellCare, ask her, what they have going for AEP, and see if you can, get into something that they might have. United Healthcare is the same way, and whatnot.
I'm even more excited that I think I'm going to be brokered with United Healthcare this year during AEP.
Yes, please get that done this time before AEP actually starts.
I mean, last year, I did have a lot of things going on, but I think between my team, we did pretty well. Between Milo, John, and myself.
Right.
It wasn't bad.
No, yeah, it was good. There was a lot going on and stuff, and imagine you'll be working less with John this year, so it should be.
Yeah, I'm not planning on doing anything with him.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anybody have any questions, concerns? Anything? Ideas?
What's it like getting a non-resident license? Do you just have to pay a fee?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Each state is different though.
I will walk you through it, Milo.
So if it's usually just in fact, I think it is all the time. You just pay a fee but that fee can vary from state to state.
I was thinking California and maybe eventually Washington, but pretty much just California right now.
Yeah, I think Washington's like $50. It's pretty easy. You'd get your license like in a few days,
Yeah.
and whatnot.
California's a
California
couple hundred.
is a little bit more tricky.
It's California.
Yeah,
So I think
I
so.
think you have to do fingerprinting, and
Okay.
the process is a little bit long, a lot longer. I don't think it's that expensive. I want to say it's like $200 or something.
More than
So
Washington though, for
it
sure.
is more than Washington.
Okay.
I have one in Michigan, and I think that was like $15. But I think like
Wow.
Nevada is, I want to say $600. So
Any
it just
ideas on Utah?
Utah.
It's cheap. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
$70 or something.
Those are
maybe
the
around.
4 states I kind of have. Oregon, Washington, California, and Utah are the ones in my mind.
Milo, I think you should go to Utah and do a lunch and learn.
I
think-
want to.
I think
What
your
I
mom,
would suggest is what I would suggest is I would wait to get your non-resident license until you actually got somebody on the hook, like you're talking to somebody. And then because it doesn't take long to get it, you don't have to wait weeks to get your license. It's usually
Yeah.
just pay a fee and in 2
and
days.
it's a short knowledge test.
There's no test.
No, I'm talking about when you broker with the companies.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely going to be more companies at that point.
But it's just real short, Milo. You could get it done, the
Right.
work done in a day, and it takes about a week.
So
Yeah.
like United Health, there are a few nuances. Like United Healthcare, you do have to be appointed. So there's an extra step you got.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You just have to like email Susan, say, hey, can you appoint me? And it does take a little bit of time to do. But like other companies like WellPair and Devoted, as soon as you get that non-resident license, they just pull it from NIPR and boom, you're licensed and ready to go.
You've got it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it just depends on the carrier and how they do that stuff. But yeah, I probably wouldn't get the license until you know that you're gonna
Do something.
do something.
But I think in Utah, with your mom alone, you could get a half a dozen clients pretty.
You
Yeah.
could probably do that, but you have to make the commitment. Like
Yeah,
say,
I'm
okay,
not just
I'm
gonna get it and
committed
say,
to
"Oh,
working in
eventually do
Utah,
it."
and I'm gonna
Right.
go there, a couple times, or I'm gonna Zoom there, whatever it is that you do.
But for me, it's an excuse to get down there. I think I'll
Yeah.
eventually do that. But
And you have a
yeah,
free
not
place
yet,
to
but
Get
maybe.
down there, write some business, have some fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
do it
Maybe
all.
You
at
have
the
a
end of the
free
summer,
place
I'll
to
do it or something.
stay and
Right. Low expense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very
a
good.
lot of support there in
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
life. So I think it's a great move
That makes
sure.
good sense. That makes good
to
sense.
go into that
Yep.
market.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah.
Also, she said she'd just buy me a plane ticket when I wanted to come sometime. So
There you go.
there we
There you
go.
go. Yeah. Right.
I really support that, and I'll
Yeah,
help
thank
you in any
guys.
way that you want to go there.
All right, thank you. That's it for me.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
You bet. I'll send out that email this week for the golfing thing, and we'll get that going. And
I like how you're wearing your hair now. Looks good.
thanks. Appreciate that. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank
Okay, see you,
you.
Kyle.
Bye. Have a good
Yeah.
day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.